Today we'll talk about the importance of performance engineering. The reason why I did not name it as performance testing and instead of performance engineering, yes, there is a reason, because it is equal responsibility as a tester and a developer to fine tune your application so that you achieve optimum performance under the expected workloads. Now sounds like a very cliche explanation, but let me go through it. When I'm part of any team or a project, don't look at it as I'm a tester, I'm a developer. Instead, look at it as I'm developing this product and I need to sell it to the customers. Now that is when you will understand the importance of each and every part of work that you do. Now coming to performance engineering, it is expected that your application should work at scale. Now what does that mean? We'll talk about it in a few seconds. Now let's move to exactly why we need performance testing, right? So before we talk about why we need performance testing, let's talk a few seconds about what is performance engineering. Performance engineering is an activity done by development teams in order to make their applications work at different workloads, right? So you might very well know, if you are part of the IT industry for a few years, you might already know why performance testing is needed. Then let's move on to what is the importance of performance testing. Why do we have to do performance testing? Because before we start and learn performance engineering, you have to understand why we are doing it, right? Otherwise we don't find the purpose of the work that we are doing. So I'll explain these points in a greater detail right now. So first one, it says validates SLAs and compliance. Of course, the important thing is what is the SLA, right? What is the service level agreements and what is the compliance to be met? Let's say you are developing an e-commerce website, right? Then it might have different requirements. It has to support thousands of users, let's say million users on some sale days or something, right? Now those are your requirements. Obviously, in order to meet those requirements, you have to test whether it is capable at that workloads or not. Now going to the second point, it ensures system reliability at scale, right? So system reliability means whether your system is able to perform at scale. Let's say you are moving from 100,000 users to 1 million users in a 15-20 minutes time, or maybe even a 5-minute time. Let's say in a sale day event at 12 o'clock, if the sale starts, immediately before the sale starts, a lot of people are going to get logged into your system trying to buy something, right? Or trying to search for some product. Now such a level of scale, whether your performance results will reflect that whether your system is capable of handling such high workloads or not. That is why you have to ensure that your system is reliable at scale. Reliability means whether you can trust your application at scale. Now third point is very interesting. Improved website performance directly translates into the bottom line of a business. Now you might wonder why I have added this point. Every performance testing we do, we are checking whether it is performing at scale, right? Now why performing at scale is important? Now let's talk a scenario that you open a site and there is a sale going on tomorrow, and open a site at 12 o'clock. It crashed. Now let's say the coming year the same website conducts a sale again. Now will you be interested to open the same site again, right? Let's say you are trying to you searched some products, you added them to the cart and you are trying to do some payment and it crashed, right? Now will you be trying on the same website again? Not many, right? Maybe only 10 people out of 100 people will try again. That is the loss of revenue, the loss of profit that is going to come from that business, right? So that is why performance is very, very, very important, guys. Okay, now not only that, so in today's world, let's say people are using your application, means they expect very low response time. All right, now let's talk about response time in a later video, but why response times are important, right? Now let's say you open a website, it takes 5 seconds to load. Will you be using that website? Might be. If it is very important, you have no choice, then maybe you can use. But let's say it is a social media site, let's say Instagram, if it takes 5 seconds to load, that is a very bad user experience, guys. No, I won't be using such websites in 2025, definitely, right? Maybe 15 years back, yes, but today, no. People's time is more precious, the attention span of the people is very less, right? So the competition is cutthroat between these different products that are available in the market. So your product has to be very performatic, and that's why we have to ensure that by doing performance testing and tuning the application so that it's performatic. So that's why the whole endeavor of performance testing and then improving the performance by performance tuning is called performance engineering in a whole. Now next point is improved performance uses fewer resources and utilizes them with more efficiency. Now what does that mean? Optimizes the infrastructure cost. How does it optimize the infrastructure cost, right? Let's say you are using, let's say 100,000 users are hitting the application. Let's say your application might not need those many servers, right? Now how do you understand that? By doing the performance testing, right? When you do the performance testing, you will get to know how your server is responding. Let's say you are trying with 10 instances of your server, application server, or 15, 20. Now you will understand at different server instances and different CPU and memories, you will get to know better how your system is performing, and accordingly you might use optimum number of servers and the resources as a whole that are required for your application, right? So in that way you are efficiating or you are optimizing your infrastructure so that you are not giving or you are not opening any unnecessary servers or databases for that matter. So that's all for today. In the next session we'll be discussing about what are the different key performance indicators you should be looking at while doing the performance testing or performance analysis as a whole. Thank you so much.